Hello, my name's Oakley. I'm from Bristol Caravans. We're an AWS Approved workshop based in Bristol in the southwest of the UK. If you need us or you're interested in any things we talk about today, reach out to us via our website. That's bristolcaravans.com, where we list both our telephone number and email address, and we're happy to help on any of the things we're talking about today. We're a repairer that covers caravans, motorhomes and campervans. Today we're going to be talking about the AWS service, which we've broken down into sections. Today we're going to be talking about the underbody and the chassis system. Okay, so on the chassis side of things, it's a visual inspection underneath. We're looking for loose bolts, anything that's out of place, any cables that need to be reconnected or clipped back into a correct location, any cables that are hanging down, any mesh that's missing off of gas drop holes. If you don't know what a gas drop hole is, look up our section on LPG gas within the AWS service. Basically any damage or anything that's not correct from an original manufacturer's point of view. Something that's not covered in the AWS standards is applying an application, underbody sealer application, to joints on the floor underneath the vehicle. Many of the European manufacturers, both motorhomes and caravans, recommend that the joints are sprayed with a sealer. You can buy the sealer through your main dealer, and if you're having a service completed by a main dealer or somebody that's approved, they will use the approved product and you will get a sticker for the application. We buy the same product in and would recommend that you have this applied during an AWS service as well. It's over and above the AWS service. We do charge for it, but it's just adding another layer of sealer into the underbody of the vehicle, which means we're reducing the likelihood of water ingress, which means that we're reducing the risks to additional costs for repairs on your vehicle, and also that will increase the resale value because you haven't got any damage underneath. It's a German product. We buy it in. If you would like it applied during a service, let us know, and then we can do that. Today we've actually got a Knaus tab in for service. We're going to go up in the air now, have a little look underneath. It's got an ALCO chassis system on it, which is standard on many of the caravans manufactured today. The unusual part of this particular vehicle is the hitch assembly is a wet hitch assembly. You rarely see it now, but it's a very lightweight caravan. So this is a hitch assembly that you would apply grease to. In our A-frame video, we look at dry assemblies and the stabilizer that are fitted to the ALCO systems. So don't get them mixed up. This is a lightweight caravan. This would be a wet hitch, but most of the caravans on the market are larger than this and would have a dry hitch with a stabilizer. We're going to go up in the air now and have a brief look underneath. Okay, so we're under the vehicle now. You'll notice that we use a ramp system. Not all repairers have ramps. I prefer us to have ramps because it means that we've got a lot more access. We can work safely underneath here, and we can see a lot more. So we've got good access and good visuals. That helps us identify issues and problems and then get to them and rectify them if we need to. Next, we're going to have a visual look underneath the vehicle. We'll just go down one side just to give you a feel. So I'm looking underneath here for anything that might be loose or not in the right place. It's all looking okay. This particular vehicle has got a motor mover on, so I'm looking at the motor mover wiring. As I come down, I've got the braking system, the cables, they're all secured, they're okay. Up inside here, I don't know if you can just see that, this is where the earth bonding point is for the chassis. So at this stage I'm checking that it's visually okay and physically connected. Later in the service we would check it electronically as well, but have a look at the 230 volt section of the AWS checklist. Okay, just coming back down through, I've got drop holes here, secured. I've got mesh inside, so they're good. My cables are good. I've got some conduit as the cables go through the chassis here. If you didn't have conduit at this point, you'd have you'd have uncovered cables going through sharp metal holes. That is a potential risk. So if you've got a motor mover fitted, make sure that you've got conduit as it goes through the web holes in the Alco chassis. Coming back through, during the chassis service, the corner steadies will be wound down. They're going to be checked for alignment. There's a screw inside here. If too much weight has been applied, the screws bend. So we're checking to make sure the operation of the corner steady is correct, and that will be sprayed with grease on all the pivot points to ensure that's okay. Earlier we talked about spraying joints underneath the floor pan of a caravan or motorhome. They're often got a wooden base to it, so that's what we're protecting. Where the wood butts up against another piece of wood, you've got potential there for rubbing and then the water getting in if the wood is untreated. You can see here, this is one of the joints on this particular tab, and each time it's been in for a service, the joint has been sprayed. Another joint across here, and looking up through, there's been sprayed around a joint where we've got an air hole, and joints down through the side where the sidewall connects have been sprayed. So each joint around the vehicle has been sprayed. The guys have even sprayed the screw points where a gas pipe is connected to the floor, again to protect that area as well. So it doesn't come into AWS, but I would really recommend having this done to your caravan or motorhome, especially if you've got a wooden floor underneath. I have mine done each year, and it's just peace of mind. Another thing that we check whilst they're in for service is the chassis bolts. They've all got a torque setting depending on the vehicle, depending on the chassis system. You'll have different torque settings, but just to give you a feel for what that is, on this particular one it's a 19mm, and we've got a socket onto a torque wrench. I'll just do a couple to give you a feel. We're onto the bolt and we're applying pressure until we hear the click. The click's indicating the torque is correct, so we're on to the next one. Again, positive reaction from the torque wrench, so we know that that is done. That would be covered on the chassis bolts under the vehicle. Another thing to point out while we're under here, should you ever need to order any parts for your axle, the Alco axle plate is the key point of this. I'd get under your vehicle, take a photograph of that, then you've got all the information you need for your specific axle on your vehicle. That very key label. The only other thing that I'd like to highlight just while we're underneath the vehicle is the LPG pipes. On this particular vehicle, they are plastic covered pipes, and I'm just checking to make sure they're secure, and where we've got one rolling over another, we've got some conduit applied, so we're not going to get metal on metal rubbing. Other things to look at, these are our waste pipes on this particular vehicle, so they're all secured and good. And apart from that, we're going to finish off with just a general look underneath and make sure everything is okay. Okay, just wrapping up on the chassis side of things within an AWS service. Other things that you might wish to have checked that are not included are the motor mover. This particular vehicle has got a motor mover fitted, not included in the AWS service. However, if you do have any issues, let your repairer or us or whoever's working on your vehicle know, and at least they can then have a look at it whilst the vehicle is in for its service. Wrapping up at this point, just to reconfirm, we're an AWS Approved repair workshop. AWS is the top level of quality within the UK. We're based in Bristol, southwest of England. We cover caravans, motorhomes and campervans. If you've got a question, query, issue, or somebody's not looking after you, we'd love to help. you can contact us via our website, bristolcaravans.com. On the website, our email address and telephone number are listed. We're on a 200-acre arable farm. If you're going to Devon and Cornwall for your holidays, or maybe the Gower in South Wales, and you're going to be passing us, you might wish to break your journey, stay with us on the CL site. If you haven't had a service or you want us to look at your vehicle for whatever, let us know when you're thinking of staying so that we can make sure we've got a space in the workshop for you. That's it from us. If we can help you, we'd love to. My first name is Oakley. It's bristolcaravans.com.